In this video, I'll be comparing the Campfire Audio Honeydew with the Copplinn Alula. Now, these two are single dynamic driver IEMs. This has a 10 mm dynamic driver of the general kind. It does not use anything special or anything that is fancy. This one uses a LSD driver. They say it is a liquid silicon driver. I don't know how that is happening, but yeah, that's the name of the driver. It's they call it liquid silicon driver. Let's have a look at the size of the IEMs first. I find the Honeydew to be reasonably small. It is not big when compared to other IEMs in this price range. Even this is fairly small. You guys can see of the size of my thumbnail, and this is even smaller. Now you guys can see the depth is not there either, but since it is smaller, it goes similarly deep, if not deeper than the Honeydew. Honeydew is more comfortable, more secure, economically more comfortable too, but both are similar when it comes to comfort, I'll have to say, because yes, the Alula do not really go deeper into the ear, but does not feel big or anything, and the Honeydew is fairly comfortable too. Now if we look at the cable, Alula is slightly more intriguing, but then one can obviously say that the smoky lids light is no slouch either. This is one of the best cable that I have seen with IEMs in this price range. This cable in its own cost around $100 when they say it's lids, smoky lids, not the light. Light might be $70, but still then this is a more premium cable than this one. This is a pure copper. This is SPC, and yeah, SPC gets slightly better details, and it really shows when it comes to the sound quality. Let's start with the bass. Yes, the Copplinn is not a bass light IEM. This single dynamic driver IEM has good amount of bass, but then it kind of feels like it does not have that extra bit of punch, extra bit of slam to it. It has good details, good texture and everything else, but it just simply does not have the visceral feel of the Honeydew. Honeydew just simply do not hold back. This 10 mm dynamic driver just simply hits with all its might. It just do not hold back at all. That this sub bass rumble is just supreme. The Alula has good sub bass rumble, and both have similar sub bass extension. There isn't any problem with sub bass extension, but this one has the sub bass rumble to beat in this price range, at least at under $300. This has the sub bass rumble to beat. It just simply does not hold back at all. When it comes to mid bass, this is slightly more emphasized mid bass than the sub bass, but still then it is that there is no mid bass hum to worry about. This one has slightly smaller mid bass and upper bass when compared to the sub bass. The sub bass is the driving force here. Yes, there is some initial mid bass body, but then it goes down. There isn't a lot of sub bass isn't a lot of mid bass body or meatiness, but that sub bass body, the sub bass rumble, makes it up for anything you can ask for. It just simply is the IEM to beat as of now when it comes to bass. Now moving on to the mid range, both are very similar. I really cannot place one over the other. This one has more balanced mid-range, but it still does not have the extra bit of attack, extra bit of edge definition, extra bit of notes definition. It just simply is in the league of the Honeydew. Honeydew is slightly odd when it comes to the vocal placement. It is placed around the bass notes, and that kind of feels slightly odd when you are paying a lot of attention to it. But in any other case, it is reasonable. There isn't anything wrong with the vocal region or instruments, mid-range instruments of the Honeydew, given that it's a bassy IEM. It is not a mid-range or treble happy IEM. Yeah, there is good amount of treble too, but it is a bassy IEM. Its target is for bass lovers. Now, the Alula is good when it comes to vocals and everything, when it manages the balance very well, but then it slightly lacks that extra bit of transparency with most of the instruments. The micro details are slightly less transparent. Now, when I was playing Turbo Funk Gotta Move, that there is a slight bit of background instrument when there is a bass slam. After the bass hits, there is a slight bit of instrument after that. That is slightly less clear on the Alula, while it is more transparent on the Honeydew. Now, one can say, yes, Copplinn has been using some dampening, or say they want to they have toned down the peaks on the Alula, and that might be playing a role here, but that does not help its ability to extract details, and yes, that is holding it back, while the Honeydew does better there. Now, moving on to the treble range, I'll have to say Alula is reasonable. The upper treble is reasonably dark. The lower and mid treble region are good. There is reasonable amount of spark and stuff. Layering and separation is average too. There isn't anything to be happy about. There isn't a lot of air either, but it is good that there isn't much wrong with it. For a general kind of IEM, this is very good. Now, the stage size is small when you are not comparing with anything else. It sounds okay, but when I bring out the Honeydew has bigger stage, more sparkle, that treble range has better air and everything. The layering and separation is better too, and this is a more supreme IEM in my point of view. Even though yes, the vocals and the instrument around the vocal region could have been slightly more accurate, but there isn't a single thing wrong with it. I will not call it wrong. Use a proper source and you will find that it is doing reasonably well for a single dynamic driver IEM. It does not have that artificial feel or the clumsiness that we see with single DD IEM. So that can be seen with the Alula, that can be seen with the FIO FD5 too. This has the bass, it's the bassy IEM, and slightly compromises when it comes to vocals and mid-range instruments, but then it has nothing wrong with it. The bass, it's a bass head IEM. The sub bass is just simply mind-blowing. Now, it is slightly difficult for me to recommend the Alula because this one exists. Alula is a more balanced sounding IEM, but do not deliver exceptionally anywhere. It does not have the best details, it does not have the best bass, it does not have anything best. There are better IEMs in the market, and it does not really get my recommendation. When it comes to sound quality, obviously, when you look at the package and the looks and the fit, the cable down fit and stuff, Alula is very good. There isn't anything wrong with it. When it comes to aesthetic and stuff, ergonomically too, it is very good. But sound wise, I'm slightly disappointed. I would like Copplinn to work a bit more on the tuning and come up with Alula Plus maybe sooner than expected. And this is it. We are touching 10 minutes. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Enjoy.